Greetings, I am Marina Orms here with your Astro vibe for Sunday, January 15th. The moon is in Scorpio today, and I thought since we're diving a little deeper with things, I thought this would be a great time to talk a little more in depth about intentions and how to work with them as we go throughout 2023 and utilizing the moon cycles that we have and the ways that they can support us in keeping on track with our healing, our growth, our self-discovery, and manifesting the things we want, the things that are important to us. I have been talking about intentions and manifestation in my recent videos, and I had a video on New Year's Day, January 1st, where I talked about how to work with moon cycles throughout the year. Because the moon is in Scorpio today, the sun is also getting close to the planet Pluto in Capricorn. So these are kind of taking us into some deeper territory, asking us to look deeper into what have we been learning in the past few weeks. We've had Mars retrograde since the end of October. We've had Mercury retrograde, and Mars went direct on the 12th, and Mercury is going to go direct on the 18th. So we're in this phase right now where we're just at that turning point of things starting to shift, and we're going to start having a little bit more outward activity and movement. So if you've been doing your homework and following me and working with these retrograde energies for the last few weeks, you've been doing a lot of deep inner work. Things haven't necessarily had resolution or conclusions or clarity or really like a sense of what direction to go, maybe. But what's been happening is that you've had this opportunity to dive deep into yourself, to review where you're at, what it is you know, what it is you're learning, and to go over some of your thinking, rediscover, reorganize, reformulate, and just do a lot of those rewords with the retrograde energies. But I think we kind of underestimate how important that work is. It's a part of how we heal and how we learn more about ourselves, is to take that time to go inward and to focus on some of our thinking, some of our attitudes, our behaviors, our beliefs, our habits, our patterns. When we're in go mode, we just kind of need to take those things for granted, and we don't want to sit around sort of rethinking things. We need to just keep moving forward with what we've got. So we have this wonderful opportunity that the planets give us to dive a little deeper and to reflect on who we are, where we're at. So what have you been learning over the past few weeks? What have you discovered about yourself that maybe you haven't been aware of before? How are you diving a little deeper into some self-awareness? Perhaps some thinking about your past and noticing how some events or feelings from the past might be impacting you in unconscious ways. Bringing those into consciousness. Becoming aware of where you hold yourself back, or what the patterns are that you go into in terms of your beliefs about yourself, your ability to get the things you want, do the things you want, be who you truly, truly want to be, what your soul is calling you to be. So this inner work is laying the foundation for being able then, when the planets go direct, to start moving outward and trying things and getting new ideas, new awareness, new clarity, new opportunities. So the way that the universe works with us synchronistically to respond. So when we're more open and available to the things happening that are supporting our greater good, then synchronistically things tend to unfold in the outer world, in the events and situations of our lives that open us to, experiencing that in the outer world. We can, as I've been talking about, work consciously with moon cycles. And we have a new moon in Aquarius coming up in about a week. We're just past the third quarter moon when the moon was in Libra, and we had that half full moon that is waning, getting smaller, that's asking us to digest and integrate what we've been experiencing and noticing and learning. And so we're heading into this new moon, great first new moon of 2023, and a great opportunity to set your intentions. And you might have set intentions already if you've been working with me, setting intentions each new moon. So we had one on December 23rd in Capricorn, just before Christmas, and we had that set point of the Capricorn energy, laying the foundations, creating the infrastructures of becoming more of what we want to be as we grow and expand into new possibilities. So with this Aquarius new moon, we're heading into the energy of rebellion, of freedom, of new insights and inspirations that come through the lightning bolts of insight, the epiphanies that we might be open to, because Aquarian energy brings shakeup, it brings change, it destabilizes. So we've laid the foundation, and now we're ready for that infusion, that shock, that jolt of new energy, of inspiration that's going to say, here's where your freedom lies. Here's how to think about things differently. Here's a new idea or a new insight or a new approach that's leading you to new possibilities. So that's the opportunity we have with that Aquarius new moon coming up, and as we work with intentions, there is something that happens that I want to talk about, where you set intentions, you might feel really positive and clear. Maybe not. I know some people really struggle with choosing their intentions and knowing what's right. And I would say, if you're having trouble knowing what is the right intention, always default back to my intention is to know my intention. And if you can always just keep backing it up like that and say, my intention is simply to feel peaceful. My intention is to be more relaxed. My intention is to know what's important to me. You can make it really general. And by doing that, you actually take some of the pressure off of yourself, first of all. Let things be supportive, and allow yourself to relax and expand into trust that things will unfold in clarity as you go on. So starting with intentions, but then there's this phenomenon that happens where once you set an intention, you can sometimes experience all the reasons why you have been convincing yourself unconsciously for years and years that you can't have that thing. So in other words, we're operating at a deep energetic level. And one of the things that can happen when you set intentions is all the things show up that reveal to you your own unconscious arguments for why you can't have that. And often those arguments show up in the feeling of frustration, of bad things happening, of I can't. of this is the problem with that here, and they show up because what's happening is they're moving into your conscious awareness. You're being more aware of how those beliefs manifest. And so this might be kind of an advanced concept. And if it doesn't make sense to you, just bear with me here, because I know some people are kind of ready to hear this. And this idea is that when we're setting positive intentions, it's not only positive things that we receive, it is also what we might call negative experiences, but it's actually a reflection of how we are internalizing the things that hold us back. And so if you set positive intentions and you experience the challenge or the frustration that is like normally the place you go, where you say, yeah, see, I can't have this because of this thing that always happens when I do that. And so what it's doing is it's showing you your internalized argument for why you can't have it. And the purpose of that is so you can become aware of how that has been internalized. And let me see if I can think of an example. So if you set your intentions to get more exercise. I used this on the New Year's Day video. Get more exercise, and you're all gung-ho, you're ready to commit. And then you go out and, you do it for a week, and it's like, okay, this is great, I'm doing it. And then the next week, all the things happen, or the things show up that normally get in the way of you being successful with this exercise plan. It might be, your own busyness. It might be somebody needing you. It might be work demands. It might be just simply feeling exhausted and not having energy. Whatever it is, we can almost expect that those things are going to happen, right? So if we notice, okay, here's the frustration or the challenge that shows up, now we can say, oh, isn't that interesting? Here's my time management stuff coming up, or here's my my pattern of feeling exhausted. Now, this is an opportunity to ask yourself, why do you feel exhausted at the end of the day? What is happening during your day that is draining you? Is it a feeling of defeat? Is it you're not getting enough rest? Is it something that's happening in a relationship or with a difficult personality that you have to deal with? So what is draining you, and why? And often we are feeling drained because we feel powerless in a situation. And there's some way that you might need to reclaim your power. And that might be speaking up, saying your truth, being who you are, having a boundary, saying, I can't do that, or I can only do that during the hours of between 1 and 2 o'clock. I will do that. And then outside of those hours, I'm not going to do that. Having some boundary for whatever makes sense to you and your situation. So creating boundaries, what is it that you need to take care of yourself? And that's what I'm getting at, is that something is showing up. It's very normal for something to show up when you set positive intentions, something to show up that is reflecting back to you. Here is why you haven't been able to manifest that before now, right? It doesn't mean you can't change it. And it coming up is a way for you to look at what's coming up and why, and then to address that why. So again, if you're not getting enough rest, why are you not getting enough rest? If you and it's not about you. So this is the thing, this is an advanced concept and a really important one, but oftentimes we go to that place of thinking, well, it's just me, I am a failure, I am not thinking positively enough, I don't do this right, it's not working for me because there must be something wrong with me. So let's take that set of beliefs, which is what it is. It's a belief, and we can work on that belief. And within that belief, we can say, okay, let's suspend that belief for a moment that there's something wrong with you, and ask, well, why? Why would you not be successful with this? What could be going on? Is there some pattern that you have from childhood about feelings about yourself? You don't feel like you deserve it. You haven't done well enough. Is there some reason why you are not getting enough sleep that you can attend to in terms of your own self-care? Do you need more time and space for yourself? Do you need more time to wind down? Do you need to be away from screens? Again, do you need to have a boundary with someone else that will allow you to do your own natural process of sleep hygiene and self-care around feeling relaxed and having restful sleep? For some people, sleep might be a big challenge, and whatever it is for you, whatever your big challenge is, it's just an area to look at and to say, okay, this feels like a big challenge. I don't even know where to approach this. Then we take a step back and we say, okay, let's accept it the way it is. And we say, what is one small thing I can try that would be supportive of me in learning how to manage this? And so when we look at our healing process, our manifestation process, as a longer term commitment to ourselves, to especially commit to getting out of this belief that I am a failure, or I can't do this, and therefore I shouldn't even try, and to shift that belief into saying, what is it I would need to feel supported? Why am I getting stuck? What is behind that? Often it can be very helpful to have professional support. And so if you're getting into one of those areas where you really are identifying something you need some support with, I definitely encourage you to seek professional support. So with this process of manifesting, if we expect that something's going to show up that is revealing to us where we are being held back, what it is that we need to look at or understand about ourselves, then we can often, that will be enough to help us get past those feelings of giving up. And that's why, what I was talking about with New Year's resolutions, it's like they don't work because we set these unrealistic expectations for ourselves, and then we fail to meet them, and then we give up. So how can we get past that place of giving up? We can expect, first of all, we can expect that there will be a failure. That is part of the process. Then when that failure appears, we can ask ourselves how to interact with that failure, how to learn from it, how to inquire into why that failure occurred, what it is we're needing at deeper levels, and how we can support ourselves. There also, I want to say too, that this book, this is one of the books that I wrote. The other one is called Cycles of Healing, but this one is Astrology Heals. And it goes into this process of how to set your intentions, work with your intentions, use the moon cycle as a natural rhythm to say, okay, here's where the challenges show up. Here is where something is being revealed. Here is the time when you want to re-anchor into your intentions. And with intentions, we want to support ourselves by reminding ourselves what that outcome feels like. And so even if you don't know clearly what your intention is, maybe you know how it feels. Like, think back in your life about a time when you felt joy, when you felt good about yourself, when you felt deep and profound gratitude for the world, the natural world, the the gifts and the blessings of the world. Think about that time. Maybe it's a memory of being in nature. Maybe it's a memory when something good happened, or a connection happened. Bring that memory into your body and take a breath with the feeling that that moment in time had for you. So that feeling of gratitude, that feeling of abundance, expansion, joy, freedom, whatever it was, think of a time when you had those positive, expansive feelings, and breathe that into your body, because what you're doing is you're repatterning. You're saying, here's how that felt. Remember, body? Remember that feeling? And so you can breathe that feeling into your body, rest in it, and simply affirm, that's what it feels like when I am, joyful, expansive, abundant, grateful, feeling blessed. So that feeling, taking it and breathing it into your body is a perfect way to anchor your intentions, to remind yourself of what's important. And so I'm going to now just to finish with this thought with the book, this book also suggests and recommends that you get a natal report from me, because what that will do is it will allow you to use this book as a workbook for setting your intentions, and for it has a worksheet in it. It's got instructions for how to work with the moon cycle. And when you get your own natal report, that also gives you additional information, which is about some of the ways that you are learning about these processes and what's specific for you, with the different planets in your chart and the soul lessons that those planets bring for you personally. So you can get it. You can order a natal report from me at astrologyheals.com. You can order this book at astrologyheals.com, and then you can use this book, which is essentially a big long instruction booklet and worksheet for working with the moon cycles. And then you can have your own personalized natal report to use with the book as you go through the information that's in the book. So that's what I would recommend for if you really want to get the most out of these moon cycles in 2023. Certainly, you can also book time with me if you're looking for deeper support at astrologyheals.com. Click on the Work with Marina tab, and it will walk you through how to schedule some time with me. And I can help you get started. I can help you stay on track. I can help you understand what's coming up and how to work with it. So that is what I wanted to say about the book and the moon cycles. And then that piece about breathing in your intentions, bringing it into your body. I highly recommend that you write out an intention statement, which is simply a statement of what you want. How does it feel when you feel great? That is your intention statement. Your ideal, and it doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be right or wrong or good or bad. It's just what feels good and right to you, like what's important and meaningful to you. And it can be a sentence, it could be 2 sentences. You could write out pages and pages. That's also a good way to work with this energy through journaling. But ultimately, you want to take that lengthy journaling and you want to summarize it into ultimately a sentence or 2. So that might be a process. You can do what works for you. But when you get your intention written out, then that's something that you can stop. And anytime you are experiencing that feeling of challenge, of frustration, of, I can't, it doesn't work, however that shows up for you, then you can pull out your intention and you can simply say, doesn't matter. Logic doesn't matter, because right now I am breathing in the energy of this intention, and it's my intention, and I don't know how it will manifest, but I'm open to learning. And that's all we're doing, is saying, I'm open to seeing how this can show up in my life. I'm open to learning who I need to be, how I need to change, grow, learn, be different, right? How we can support ourselves to continue doing this work and manifest the things we want. And I can tell you that when this is working correctly, when when we're in alignment, when we're on track, it will surprise you. So it won't be like, exactly the way you thought it would be. And that's fine. It's fine to write out an intention in the sense of like, I want a red sports car, that does this and has this kind of seat and has this kind of sound system. And you can write all that out. Maybe it's a partner you want, you can, make your list. But the point is that then you need to let go of those specifics, because it may not be, that may not be what this is about. This may be about you discovering who you are, what you really wanted, right? Beneath that, maybe what you really wanted was acceptance, or the ability to live and authentically and do creative work. Those are examples of something that might be beneath the thing that you think you want. And that's fine, because that's part of the process. That's part of what we learn. When you set your intentions, you make a statement of what you think you want in this moment. And then next month, when the next new moon comes around, maybe you want to change that. Maybe you're like, well, okay, maybe the sports car didn't have to be red, or or maybe it really wasn't about the sound system. Maybe it was really more about what my friends think about me, or, whatever. So we're going to be open, we're going to be flexible, we're going to be willing to receive the truth of what we want at a deeper level, what our souls really want. And sometimes we have to be present with ourselves as that unfolds, as we discover new things about ourselves and who we are and what we want. So that is what I have for you today, a little deeper dive. And Scorpio is really the Scorpio moon. And whenever you're watching this, it's still true that the deeper places within ourselves of self-knowledge, self-awareness, awareness of where some of our hurts and wounds are from the past, maybe even trauma, that we, ways that we are responding based on what we think is going to keep us safe, as opposed to ways that we want to expand into, because it is more of a representation of who we really are. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to learn how to be who we really are, and to do that in a way that is open-hearted, joyful, abundant, willing to receive, willing to exchange, willing to be amazed, willing to be awed by what transpires. And that's what I mean by surprises is, you do need to have a sense of openness about how these things might show up, and sort of a willingness to discover things where you didn't think you would find them. And then open to synchronicities, things, opportunities showing up, open doors, showing up, and support for becoming who you truly are, and continuing that work, because you've been doing it all your life, right? You're not in this moment here by accident. You have been doing this work your whole life. You have been loving and caring for yourself and doing the best you can to support yourself in being who you are. And so it's just that now we're ready to be here now in this moment and do the steps that are in front of us now. And with the shifting energies, with Mars now direct, with Mercury about to go direct, all the planets are going to be direct. So getting ourselves in order in terms of what we want, what's important to us, what gives our lives meaning, what we want to work on, what we're discovering. It's a journey, and we're open to taking the path before us that's going to lead us to the most discovery and awe and amazement. So that's really what it's all about, and having that open heart and that willingness to discover. So again, astrologyheals.com is where you can learn more about working with me, where you can find information about my book and ordering your own natal report to go with the book as you work through it. And it can support you going through 2023 and working with the moon cycles. Of course, I will continue to be here with you in these daily videos, providing you with support and self-care that astrology can help us access by knowing where the moon is, where the planets are, what's happening, and how we can make the most of it. So thank you for being here, and I am so excited about what's coming up and working with you as we go forward with continuing to support ourselves in unshakable self-care and discovering who we truly are as we discover all that we are capable of. All right. Thank you for your support. Hit subscribe if you're enjoying these videos and you want to see more. Let your friends know. And thank you for all your likes. And I love your comments. So thank you so much for being here. And I will see you next time. Bye for now.